truth, they say, well, Mark Twain says, is stranger than fiction. And that has, interestingly enough, been proven in more cases than one. Vidocq was the man who originated what was called the modern crime narrative. Vidocq was a criminal to begin with, became a policeman, and later the father of criminology. Similar stories have taken place in India. The Daroga Darbar, which was a publication in Kolkata in the late 1800s, was the first crime story oeuvre that India saw. And all of these were true crime narratives. Why were they true crime narratives? And what did they do in building larger narratives? That is what we will be discussing in the elective that I'm offering. True crime, facts, and narratives. My name is Kajori Sen. I am an assistant professor with the Jindal School of Journalism and Communications. I have been a journalist for several years. I'm also a student of popular culture, in particular crime fiction. What I will be looking at in this course, and hopefully will have the students looking at as well, is a focus on how crime is dealt with, not just in the media itself, because everyone really enjoys looking at crime being reported on. After all, the popularity of the London broadsheets peaked with Jack the Ripper, the name itself coined by none other than the newspapers. Similarly, the very famous Bombay publication, The Blitz, went from being a 50 paisa publication to a 5 rupee publication during the Nanavati case. And that's because people want to know what's happening. Certain crimes get media attention, they get publicity, people devour every single detail. And that's not the only way that crime is circulated. Crime is circulated through several other forms of narrative as well, including true crime books, very famously by people like Anne Rule. You also have adaptations, novelizations, cinematic narratives, as well as in more recent and modern forms, solutions like Serial, which are done through podcasts. All of these have something in common. They kick into the public imagination, not only of the times, but also of the genre. What does the genre do? What are its conventions? Who is it aimed at attracting? These are the questions that we will be asking, looking at key cases which have been written about and discussed in various formats, and trying to identify patterns that these narratives come out from. For students across the board, law students, journalism students, liberal arts students, there are different forms of appeal that this course will bring. For law students who are used to studying the drier legal formulations of several key cases, seeing the kind of narrative that is built around those cases and how those narratives are not just reported on contemporaneously, but also how those are built on subsequently becomes a matter of great interest. For journalism students, going beyond what is in the newspaper to how those narratives can be spun out in cases, for example, like Arushi, which has seen several books and at least one movie made on the case, becomes interesting. For liberal arts students, the idea of writing, where does writing come from and what does writing participate in, how does it draw in audiences, naturally becomes critical. These are just parts of a much larger course that we have structured for you, and hopefully you will find interesting.